1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost a weekend and you don't know what to do. Or you just need something fun to listen to.
Southside Pod!
Yes, we're on the air. And the gang's all here, all things on the South Side. We're listening to the Southside Pod. Looking for the best Southside breweries. Or you might just need an awesome place to eat.
Southside Pod!
Mount Greenwood, Evergreen, Blue Island, Beverly, Payless, and Allsup too. You're tuned into the Southside Pod.
Southside Pod!
Oakland, Midlothian,
Southside Pod!
Oak Forest, Chicago Ridge, Flossmoor, and Bridgeview. You're listening to Southside Pod!
Bunch of beers on the bar here. My 9-foot homemade oak bar in my basement on the south side. Bill's here, Mike's here. My name is Chris. This is Southside Pod. We're going to check out a farmer's market on the south side today that is very different from any other farmer's market I've ever seen. Like, I know I said farmer's market and you were like, boring. Not the case here. Mike and I are also going to go get a beer in Chicago Ridge and check out a brewery with a West Coast IPA you might want to try. That's just a taste of the good that is Southside Pod this week. It's all brought to you by Family Waterproofing Solutions. Remember, you heard at the beginning of the show, their express service is online at their website. If you know what you want, you see the cost right on the website. Order, schedule on site immediately for quick service. Your basement's best defense is at familydry.com. I don't know anybody that puts their prices up on the internet that does something like waterproofing, sump pumps and bowing walls and things like window wells and foundation and crack repair. I also have never seen anything like this farmer's market that I stopped by. But I like it because it's unique. And I know people are looking for things to do as the summer winds down. Yeah, I was going to ask you what you're doing on a regular weekend. Like if you're getting out with your wife, what are you entertaining
Summer or
yourself
winter?
with? Right now.
I'm trying to fit as much summer stuff as I possibly can with the kids. We got passes to the Allsup pool. Got out to the,
Is that the one
I'm
that's
not
in-
talking about
is that the one in the Jewel parking
Not
lot?
the one in the Jewel parking lot.
Okay.
The actual Spray Ferry pool in Costner.
Actual pool. Okay.
It's a great pool.
Okay.
Open not just when it rains.
We love to, yeah, right. We love to go there, but we're trying to fit everything in. We went horseback riding and
Well, hold on a second. You took those. How old are your girls?
5 and 7.
And you put them on horses?
Yeah, there's
They were
little
on
horses,
ponies.
right? Yeah, ponies.
Were they on them by
Me and-
themselves?
They had a guide.
Were they
Okay.
ponies you
We
could
had to
bet
pay
on?
for the guide.
Okay, but the guide is attached. Is the horse attached to the guide's horse?
I don't know if they're
The
attached.
only reason
They're
I'm asking.
holding them.
Okay, so when I was an 911 dispatcher, there's a horse
Yeah.
place that's out. I want to say in Payless,
Yeah.
Called the stable.
the stables,
A horse place.
whatever.
A horse place.
A horse place.
Right.
I don't know.
We're
I don't
going
ride
to that
horses.
food place.
Listen, some of us aren't foo-foo and we don't ride horses, but you obviously do, okay?
I mean, one
you
time.
and your princesses go and ride horses.
Absolutely.
I never had a pony in the
You
backyard.
can pay them extra and they'll put
Okay.
a horn on it and make it look like a unicorn.
So here's the thing.
God, I wish that was a lie.
All of a sudden, we get a 911 call about a woman screaming, running down LaGrange.
Yeah.
Well, she's not running down. The horse is running down, or
Sure.
what is it, trotting down, galloping
Galloping.
It
down.
depends on
Yeah.
how fast they were going.
It was
Clocking.
galloping.
Yeah.
The horse is out of control, running down LaGrange Road, got loose. And this is somebody who just paid for a horseback ride.
Mm-hmm.
The horse got spooked and now is running down LaGrange. And the horse went for miles
Was the
in the middle
person
of traffic.
on the horse still?
The person was still on the horse
That's
screaming.
Good for her.
Yeah, that's
the
impressive.
police officers, while I was dispatching and talking to them on the band, one of them drove up next to the horse
Yeah.
while the woman was screaming.
Over!
Right. He's like, you know how fast you're going?
And the horse said, nay!
The horse didn't comply and got shot, right?
It's weird because only 1 horsepower.
Right, right. And he reached out and he grabbed the horse bridle
You're a liar.
and stopped the horse
That's
running.
not a true story.
You-
Fabrication.
It really happened.
Out of the cop car, he grabbed the horse.
He drove up next to the horse and grabbed the bridle
I don't believe it.
in the car. I listened to it. Maybe he was lying, but I could hear the horse and I could hear her and I could hear the screaming.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
And I could hear
weirdest
one of the
fake
officers
prank
say that.
call to
I heard one
911 ever.
of the officers who was also chasing into things said that was a heck of a grab because
Yeah.
he was able to grab onto the horse as he went along and he slowed the car down with the horse. That was what happened.
If we Google this, would we find it in some local South?
No, because police.
side.
Listen, I work for the
On
police.
the
We sweep
ink blotter?
everything under the rug. If it's not on camera, it never happened.
By the way, guess how much a family of 4 to horseback ride?
250.
Well,
300.
he's from the. Wow, you guys are way high.
How much?
170. But that included
that's
the
not
guides.
terrible.
And we tipped him afterwards, so
Yeah.
190.
For how long are you
An
horseback?
hour through the
That's-
woods.
See, but when I hear
solid.
that,
That's-
but when I hear that, I think of that woman, and I'm like, I would never put my little girl on a horse.
They were on a pony.
Not on that horse.
They were on a pony.
Well, how do you know which horse is the one that's going to run down LaGrange
I'm
Road?
assuming the horse that ran down LaGrange Road is probably
Is glue. It's glue.
somewhere right now.
Is anything going to happen to the horse? No, man.
No,
the
they're
horse,
fine.
horse is going to be fine.
Right.
And she's standing there, and all of a sudden, you just hear a gunshot.
And then a second one because they missed the first time.
Boom! What was that? Nothing.
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 Nothing at all.
We like to light off fireworks after every
They're
ride.
just re-shoeing the horse, and that's with the machine. That's the noise it makes.
Shooting the horse? No shooting. Oh my God!
Oh my God!
It's the Southside Pod.
It's the Southside Pod.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
It's the Southside Pod.
It's the Southside Pod.
OMG!
OMG!
It's the SSP.
It's the SSP.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
It's the Southside Pod.
It's the Southside Pod. We're in Lamont. They have a farmer's market now. This is crazy. It just started like in the last couple of weeks.
Wouldn't say it's crazy.
I think it's crazy because I think everybody's got one except for Lamont.
You're true. I mean, I think it stopped in like 2019.
Yeah, is that when it ended?
So, and it was unfortunately situated over by the Pollyanna Brewing parking lot.
Instead, now you're next to Pollyanna Social.
I mean, you can't throw a stone without hitting a Pollyanna in this town.
It's Amanda Thompson. She brought this farmer's market back, from what I understand.
Yeah.
It's really neat, nice little area here. You brought live music to it. Is that here every week?
Every week, it's a different band every week, and there's not much in this for me, honestly, other than just exhaustion, and then I've chosen the music. So like that's
Oh,
for
so
me.
you're picking the bands.
I'm picking the band.
See, this is cool because this guy back here, he's going.
I love
He's
it.
got the bass.
The
the other guy's picking over here.
I'm very happy. I'm very this is my little treat is that I get to listen to great music. Last week we had like a teenage jazz band that just was like awesome. The week before that we had even older rockabilly guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so
it's a theme.
So here's the thing. It's not when normally a farmer's market occurs. That's the first thing that sticks out to me.
Yeah.
Normally when somebody says, we have a farmer's market in our town, I got to get up early and get out
Right.
there because that's when the farmers wake, Amanda. They get up in the morning.
I'm with you
By
on
now,
this.
they're having their vittles and they're going to bed. You, though, are having your market starting at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday,
so my
right?
thought is people getting off the train or maybe people getting groceries. Like they can come down here and get their groceries and also dinner
Yeah.
and dance
Yeah.
and get their honey and their catnip and their sprouts. You know, in a casual, like no hurry, no like. I like the idea you can get dinner too.
You know what it is to me? It's just another excuse for Lamont to have a party. You do the car thing on Wednesdays in the summer. You got the
Guilty.
farmer's market on Tuesday. I mean, everything here. It's so funny. Like, if somebody asks me, like, where is this? I can say it's at 322 Main.
Yeah.
Or I can just say, right in the dead center of everything.
Right.
I see
No,
Diggs on Canal right
this
there. I
is
got
officially-
Pollyanna social there. I got Nick's down the street. I mean, we've been at like 4 or 5 of these restaurants here on Southside
But
Pod.
there's nothing here at this park ever.
Right.
This is the Village Green. And when I signed the lease for my shop, this was supposed to be some kind of a gussied up park and wasn't being used, so I'm going to start using it.
All right, so you have a shop. Let's mention
shop.
that real quick. Tell me the name. Tell me what it does.
It's called Astor Gardens, and it's a plant and garden shop. I've been a horticulturist for over 25 years, so I literally know everything about plants, landscape design, stuff like that. And we are a funky little weird place.
You know what? I walked through it because I was looking for you.
Yeah.
And when I went through it, I thought to myself, like, if there was a hipster gardening place,
I wouldn't
this
use
is
the
it.
H word, sir.
No, don't use that. That upsets you.
I'm an old punk. Yeah, you see it that?
If it's
I'm an old punk.
you have a punk
Yeah.
gardening
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
like-
it's not like going to Home Depot.
It is not like
No,
going on
and it's
Depot.
not a
the
flower
opposite of
shop
that.
either. No, it's got attitude.
No. Yes,
Yeah.
it
It's
is.
got
a
attitude.
little-
It's a gardening place with attitude.
Yes, and the lovely 18-year-old that works for me. He turned 18 last week. Who knows everything about plants?
Yeah.
He's an orchid knowledge source, and he's just great. And he's holding things down in there for me while I'm out here.
So
Trying.
what do you got out here now? Now, when I go to farmers markets, sometimes people are selling food.
Right.
Sometimes it's an awful lot of florists. Sometimes
do you know about this? Did I already
Sometimes
tell
a
you
lot
about
of
this?
fruits and vegetables. No, you haven't
No,
told me anything.
okay.
So what are you doing at yours?
So I have been to a lot of stinker farmers markets.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that this one is
Not
the best.
me, definitely. Every single one of them we've gone to has been awesome. All right.
This has been brought to you by the Farmers Markets of America. I've been to farmers markets that
I've been
like,
to some bad ones. I've been to some good ones. I've
like
been to some bad ones.
there's a chiropractor, or there's like dips, or Tupperware, or like an MLM, or like, things that don't make sense. Coming from horticulture, I really want to be farmer forward. So my first choice is to have people who are growing things locally, because there's nothing better for you, the environment, the community, than keeping our money local and supporting local farmers and people who grow. So everyone here is that. There's nothing else. Like, a lady is real cheesed at me because I won't let her sell jewelry here. She's cheesed. And I'm like, and I'm like,
She's angry.
She's
So
cheesed.
you're
She
turning,
is cheesed.
she's-
And
you're turning people down.
oh yeah.
That's the thing. Not anybody
Right.
can get in
so
here.
we're not full. We have more space,
No, you
but
got a
I'm
little
also
space
turning
here.
people down.
Yeah, I think the woman who's cheesed at you,
Yeah.
I love that phrase.
Yeah.
Okay, she's going to see this and be like, well, I got to fit in right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like, there's definitely room there where the crepe lady isn't this week. Crepe lady will be back next week. But unless you grew that jewelry, which there's a way, like, hey, I made the jewelry out of
Unless you
seeds
grow the
and,
jewelry.
Whatever.
All right, well,
Yeah. Did you mine the clay out of your,
what about the bagel burger place? Are they growing burgers
They
someplace?
aren't, but
okay.
she lives literally right there.
So you got to let her in.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Well, I mean, food, we have to eat.
Right, you
too.
do have to eat.
You gotta eat.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're fundraising for local kids. The Kona Ice is
Yeah, I was going to say, you also
fundraising
have
for the right.
an icy place, an Italian ice place.
I may have
That's grown in Italy, not here locally.
I may have a very cold, tough exterior, but I have
Right.
a giant heart. And I want to do the right thing, which is supporting micro local businesses
Yeah.
and not selling jewelry.
Here's what I like about it. Here's what I like about your farmer's market compared to others. And this is not to put them all down, all right? Although I'm sure you would tell me this is the greatest farmer's market in all the land, okay?
I mean, it's the best one in Lamont.
But one, it's in a park, so I'm not standing on concrete, which
No
most
kidding.
of them are
There's
in. They're in like a
trees,
parking lot
yeah.
or something like that. Two, there's ample seating. So I can come in, I can look at what's going on, I can grab
Yep.
something to eat, I can sit down.
Yep.
The music's here.
Yep.
This is a very different market than what you get around the south side.
My favorite thing about this farmers market: no porta potties.
Yeah.
You can
Just
go
be in the trees? What do you do?
you can go in my shop or Pollyanna Social.
All right. Pollyanna Social will let
and
you go in
Pollyanna
there.
Social, I believe, will have a booth here soon too, with
course they will.
fresh
They're everywhere.
social.
Yeah, all of them. The brewery, the social.
But I mean, we're talking having like a cocktail that is reflective of a farmer's market.
Right. I like you. Yeah, this one here's
Hey,
got
I'm gonna tell you my
personality.
best farmer's market. This
Yeah.
farmer's market joke.
Yeah.
I wanted to call it the French market.
The what?
The French market.
Why the French market?
Well, you know what a French room is, right?
Yeah.
And you know what a French market is?
Yeah.
It would be the French market.
It's terrible.
I know. That's why we didn't call it that.
All right, Amanda. Again, the location of the park is 322 Main, right?
Yep, but
your
it's,
your place is where?
202 Stevens Street.
206, yeah, because Main and Stephen, where it intersects,
Yep.
that's where basically everything is.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know where it is in Lamont, get to Stephen and Main, look around and follow the crowd is what I always tell people. That's the spot to be, okay? And do you have a website or something you want to give out for your spot?
It's kissmyaster.com. I've been waiting all day for
I love
this
it.
moment.
I love it. That's amazing.
I got my French market joke in.
That's amazing.
And my website within
Wow.
30 seconds.
You know,
yeah.
so I told somebody today I was going to a farmer's market, and they're like, those aren't always the most fun things to go to. And I'm like, we'll see. I had low
We got a bubble
expectations.
machine.
Now I will always have high expectations when I come to this farmer's
Gotta
market.
fit for Lamont. Lamont's
No.
a fun town.
Yeah.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Before
No
I let you go, a couple questions about Lamont for anybody that's never been here before. The best place to eat for you personally, where do you go?
Barrel and Vine for charcuterie.
We've been there. We've been there before. They're good over there.
The charcuterie.
Yeah. Best place to go get a drink with friends.
I said Pollyanna Social.
The social?
Yeah.
Not the brewery, but the social.
I supply all their herbs, their fresh garnishes. I grow right here.
That's a little known fact. So you're growing the herbs they're putting in the drinks?
Yeah.
Why do you need a farmer's market? You sound like a bunch of
And I help
farmers
them
out here.
develop their Bloody Mary recipe too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I love them.
All right, and then last thing, favorite thing to do in the summertime in Lamont?
sell you plants and flowers.
I was going to say go to the farmer's market.
Yeah.
I set you up.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah,
I tried.
kind of failed, but
That's okay. Don't worry about it. You did really well with the other jokes.
Yeah.
And the website is killer.
Yeah.
All right. Amanda Thompson. She's got a farmer's market. They're only 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
And they're already
we're going
killing
to
it out
October
there.
17th, every Tuesday night from 4 to 7.
Every Tuesday night, 4 to 7 here in Lemont. Thanks so much, Amanda.
Thank you so much.
If you're just starting out planning your retirement, or maybe you haven't thought about all of your options yet, or let's say you're towards the end, or you're just trying to figure out what to do with those last couple of years before you go off into the sunset and enjoy the good life, Tom Walsh is your Edward Jones financial advisor. He takes care of my money, takes care of Bill's. Mike's not so smart. All he does is eat all the peanuts. Are we out of peanuts? That was a fresh can. We opened it 15 minutes ago, for crying out loud.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. We used to have a full can of peanuts. Now we don't have peanuts anymore. We used to have a full can of peanuts, 'cause I had 3 and Mike had 4. Then I had 5 and he had 6. And I had 7 and he had 8. And we had some more and he had some more. We used to have peanuts, but we don't have any more. Peanuts, our favorite snack. Peanuts, you don't have to bring them back, 'cause we ate them all. Anyway, Tom Walsh is your Edward Jones financial advisor. He's over at 111th and Kedzie. I don't have any peanuts. Bill's gone upstairs to find something else. Good for you. You should. If you're counting your nuts or your money, or you want to see what's going on with it, Tom is very forthcoming. I get an update about every trade. I get a statement all the time. I get questions answered immediately. I reach out every time I have a question about my money. He's done a really good job for me over the last couple of years. I can only speak personally. I recommend him to you. Give him a call, 773-779-0023. He's been doing it for over 20 years. Or stop in and see him again over at 111th and Kedzie. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Smells
whoa,
delicious
whoa, whoa.
down here.
You went upstairs and they made popcorn?
Yeah.
About time Erica made us some
No,
snacks.
I
It's
bet
been
you
a long
Audrey
time.
made it. Did Erica make it or Audrey?
I don't know. It's
I
in a
think-
big
I
bowl
think
up
Erica's
there.
Well, my daughter,
Erica's passed out
my
a bit.
daughter's popcorn is got a little bit more oil and buttery flavor, and Erica's is very dry.
Pretty dry.
Okay, that is her. So we make it in a pot. Do you do that? Do you make popcorn?
Old school, huh?
We
Yeah,
do
we're
that. We
old
have the
school.
air
With the
popper.
kernels?
The air
No, I do the kernels with the oil. Take the
That's
canola
really
oil
old
and do it and I just cook it right on the
We're
stove.
bag people, I'm not going to lie.
My-
when
my-
I was a kid, we did kernels.
My dad used to do the
We
thing
do Jiffy Pop at the campground.
where
That's
he
a
would.
skill.
over the
That is
campfire.
a skill.
My dad would take he'd put the popcorn seeds in. He put that's how I learned how to do it. He had one pot that was specific for popcorn, and then he would put the oil over the top, and then it would start popping like on medium heat,
Right.
and then it would go pop, 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 and eventually it would go crazy, and the lid would come up, and
Yeah.
you would watch
When
him.
the lid went up, you were
you'd
good.
watch him see how high up he could let the lid go before he dumped it in.
It was a challenge.
Yeah, that's what we would
It's
do,
his
and I still do
Kilimanjaro,
that stuff.
yep.
Yeah. So, but that's how we make it in our house. We don't have any other way that we do it right now. I don't have a microwave.
He doesn't know what
Have we talked about this before? I don't have a microwave.
many times.
Okay,
I try to bring it up every episode.
I know you do. You
Yeah.
bring it. When I'm
We
editing
try
the
to deny
shows.
it.
No, when I'm editing the shows, I hear Mike throw it out there all the time. Like he really wants to have this conversation.
I don't want to have the conversation. I just want to know.
We don't want to bring it
Let
up too
people
much
know the
'cause I feel like it would
sacrifices
be a
you make
good-
for your family. That's
We don't want to bring it up too much because we feel like it would be a good trivia question once the show gets really big. Like, what appliances does Chris have in his kitchen? And only true listeners would know.
The reason I don't have one is because I felt like my kids were never going to learn how to cook. Everything was too easy.
And they still don't know how.
No, they do. They cook like crazy.
make
Audrey cooks. My daughter bakes and cooks, and they both can make their own
Who
breakfast.
actually cooks in a microwave, though?
People just warm things up, but you get lazy.
Leftovers.
No, but people will, like teenagers will warm up anything in a
The only
microwave.
reason we use a microwave in my house is for leftovers.
I get that, but the leftovers taste better in a glass dish in the
Oh,
oven
you're saying
or on
like
a
you'll
stovetop.
put the pizza
So we'll warm,
out of pan.
we'll warm
Okay.
everything back
I get
up
it.
in the oven.
Pizza's terrible in a microwave.
Yeah, it's much better in an
Better
oven.
cold.
But having just
Than a
the
microwave
oven
for sure.
option got the kids to learn how to cook. Like Dominic is now working at a Culver's
There's nothing to do with you
in
being
the
cheap.
kitchen. No,
No, me?
Microwave? We don't need a microwave. Do you have a dishwasher?
yes.
Is her name Erica?
No, I have a full dishwasher. Got a washer, got
two
a dryer.
2 shelves even.
There's central air for crying out loud. The kids are all going to private school. I just don't have a microwave.
Got a
Fine, that's
lava
fine.
lamp.
Okay? I'm just like, it doesn't make any sense. To me,
It's a lot of counter
they
space
became
too.
too dependent on it, and I took it out of the house. It broke, and I was like, we don't need another one. Learn how to cook. And the thing was, it wasn't a conscious thing where I was like, I'm going to take this perfectly good microwave and throw it away. The microwave broke. We were warming up stuff in the oven, and I noticed immediately my 2 kids were at that time probably like 12 and 10 or 13 and 11 were like, they were learning how to cook immediately. Like, how do I turn on the oven? How do I do this? How do I do that? And I was like, they don't need one of these things, and that's why I don't have a microwave.
They're gonna
Okay.
be
That's why.
be screwed when they go to college and they have their first
Yeah.
microwave in the room.
What is this technology, Father? We're in the future. We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment, what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna give you up.
It's now time for your Southside Pod Bulletin Board, brought to you by Spoke and Vine Wine Bar and Bottle Shop in Evergreen Park on the northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie. I've been in there a couple of times. It's a 21 and over place. You won't see somebody's kids running around wiping their snot on you. Like, I'm all for family bars, but every once in a while, I don't want to see your kids. Spoke and Vine is the place to go. They don't even let babies in there. I love it. An incredible selection of wines. It looks kind of like a fancy hotel lobby. All kinds of different types of seating. If you find something you like, you can actually buy it in the bottle shop and take it home. Get more information at spokeandvinewines.com. On Friday night at 7 p.m., play The Feud. The Lyric Theater in Blue Island is doing Family Feud, hosted by Sound Sonic Entertainment. Doors open at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at lyrictheater.com. On Saturday, the 3rd annual Show Your Ride Cruisin' on Kedzie Auto Show happening at the American Legion in Evergreen Park at 97th and Kedzie from 2 to 7 p.m. I was at this last year, actually. Big tent with music, live music playing all day. They got food, they got drinks, they got stuff for the kids, and they've got some really cool cars that come out. Classic cars, hot rods, military vehicles, you name it. Show your ride off and check out everybody else's on Saturday, August 19th at 97th and Kedzie at the Evergreen Park American Legion. Also on Saturday the 19th, 7 p.m., back over to Blue Island. The Blue Island Beer Company is hosting Donnie Vai and the Beautiful Things. Tickets are $20. Dolph Chaney will open. Get yourself on the guest list. Check out the Blue Island Beer Company website or just go to shop-bibco at Squarespace. And also on the 19th, Saturday, Matt's Barbecue. We've been there before in Lamont. CK and the Gray Duo are playing. 308 Canal Street. On Sunday, one of these Knights and Eagles tribute will be playing at 115 Bourbon Street in Marionette Park. It is a Sunday outdoor show that kicks off at 4 p.m. And looking into next week, Hailstorm Brewing is having game night on Tuesday, the 22nd of August. I think it's going to be a regular thing because I was just in there last Tuesday and they were doing this. 6 to 9 p.m. every Tuesday night. Oh, there you go. $2 off drafts and game night. I saw kids in there. Like, I don't always want kids around, but if you want to go get a beer and it's a Tuesday and you're stuck with the kids, Hailstorm in Tinley Park. Our final segment is brought to you by SidSauce.net. This is a local company. They grow peppers all over the South Side. They harvest them. They make them into delicious hot sauces of all kinds of heats and flavors. The only hot sauce we keep here at the 9 Foot Homemade Oak Bar here in the broadcast basement. See everything they have to offer at sidsauce.net. Talking about hot sauce and breweries and game night and the weekend, I'm thirsty. Let's get a beer.
A pitcher of beer, a pitcher of beer. Let's order another pitcher of beer. That pitcher of beer should come over here. I love that pitcher of beer.
We walked into One Allegiance in Chicago Ridge. We ended up on the Pier 39, which is one of their staples. It is a West Coast IPA. I lived on the West Coast. You've been to the West Coast like a ridiculous amount of times, right?
My home away from home these days.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to fake a West Coast IPA. You have to be good at it. Zach Judakis, he is the guy behind this entire brewery. He runs everything. Most breweries have like 4 or 5 people. They got a guy who's in charge of the business. They got a guy who's in charge of the beer. He does everything. This one's been around for a while, right?
Yeah, we brewed that one probably within the first 3 months of opening, and it's been around on and off since then. And it's one of those that I can drink day in and day out.
So was it inspired by a Cali beer? Like you call it your Cali Common. So obviously you drank on the West Coast and you were like, this is a beer I want to make.
Yeah, it's one of those like drinking Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, kind of inspired by that. And then Anchor Steam, one of those beers I was drinking in San Francisco a few years back. And we wanted to come up with our own. It's definitely more hop forward than theirs is, but it's super drinkable.
Well, if you're saying Pier 39, I think most people are thinking, San Francisco area right away. And there's a lot of history of great breweries out. I mean, that's where the craft brewery thing started. Anchor Steam, 40 friggin' years ago now. So if you're making a Pier 39 and saying it's a West Coast beer, it's got to be good.
Are the hops from Cali, or where do you get the hops from?
So they are all North American hops, not from California specifically, but we use Northern Brewer hops, which are typical to Anchor Steam's beer because they invented the style. They invented the steam beer, which is a California.
Is this steamed?
So it's not a steamed beer, but they call it that for their own reason. Northern Brewer hops, Cascade hops, because that's just another American staple hop, and it all comes through just the way it should be.
You've kept this since you opened up, so it obviously does very well.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's basically a pale ale, a hoppier pale ale that people always love, and we have to explain the reason why it's called a Cali Common. But once you explain it and you taste it, you get the reason. It's a West Coast beer that people just want.
Yeah, I walked into the band, playing Santeria, so that's like the West Coast vibe right there. With a solid West Coast IPA that isn't trying to overdo being a West Coast IPA. So yeah, people should come here and drink this stuff. It's good stuff.
You're like West Coast Southside, so it works out perfectly.
Yeah, it's a perfect fit then. You can't go wrong. You guys are hilarious. I love having you. Thank you for coming out always.
Thank you for listening to see what's happening on the Southside Pod. On the Southside Pod. Join us again and be sure to tell a friend about the Southside Pod. About the Southside Pod. All things about the neighborhood we live in. All things about the places that we go. It's the best side of Chicago, the Southside Pod.